Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Hurd versus Williams media conference call. Your host for today, Ray Flores, will now begin.
Thank you very much, operator. Very excited to have the media from all over the world joining us for this conference call as we get set for PBC on Fox and Fox Deportes Saturday, May 11th from the EagleBank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia. The Fox and Fox Deportes broadcast starts 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Talk about an incredible main event. It is headlined by IBF and WBA 154-pound world champion Swift Jarrett HURD, who is defending his championship, making his homecoming against hungry top contender Julian J-Rock Williams of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Also, we have a tremendous co-feature, unbeaten super lightweight contender Mario El Azteca Barrios goes head-to-head against Argentina's own Juan Jose Velasco in a 10-round matchup. Also, middleweight contender Matt Korobov clashes with Emmanuel Lim in a 10-round matchup, all a part of the televised action PBC on Fox and Fox Deportes. Tickets for the event, it is all being promoted by TGV Promotions along with Swift Promotions. They're going quickly. They're on sale now, and they can be purchased at Ticketmaster.com. Now, following PBC on Fox and Fox Deportes, we have PBC Fight Night Extra on FS1, Fox Deportes, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific time. It features rising up-and-coming contender Stephen Fulton going head-to-head against former champion Paulis Abunda. Also hard-hitting, the always entertaining Ahmed Albiali in action, and 19-year-old prospect Lorenzo Simpson. Non-stop wall-to-wall action on Fox, Fox Deportes, and FS1. Now, we want to go ahead and bring in one of the promoters for Saturday, May 11th, a man who knows boxing like nobody's business, one of the best minds in the history of the sport. Please welcome my dear friend, the president of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you, Ray, and thanks, everyone, for joining us for this conference call for what I believe will be an extremely exciting fight presented by premier boxing champions. Jarrett HURD has established himself as one of the breakout stars in boxing, and now he'll have the chance to showcase his talents as he makes his first defense in front of his hometown fans. But he does have a stiff test in front of him in Julian Williams, who since his only defeat in a world title challenge against Jermall Charlo has racked up 4 wins in a row. And Williams has never shied away from any challenge. There's going to be a fantastic main event for the viewers in prime time to enjoy on Fox and Fox Deportes. I've been looking forward to this fight now since back on December 1 when both guys fought on the same card at the Staples Center. And as a matchmaker, I just think it's a great fight with the combination of their styles, where they are in their careers. It's a very intriguing matchup and should make for an entertaining and exciting fight. So now I'll throw it back to Ray to introduce the fighters and get this call started. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tom. And Tom has mentioned that, my goodness, do we have an incredible main event. It gives me great honor and pleasure to bring on a guy who represents his home city of Philadelphia, trained by a fantastic trainer, Stephen Breadman Edwards, 29 years of age. He has rattled off 4 straight victories, including impressive performances against former champion Ishai Smith and hard-hitting Nate Gallimore. When you think of a Philadelphia fighter, this man is so emblematic of that. He's tough. He's exciting. He comes forward. He breeds what Philadelphia boxing is all about. And he's no doubt looking to accomplish his lifelong dream and become a world champion on Saturday, May 11th. Please welcome Julian J-Rock Williams. Julian, if you have opening comments.
How you doing, guys?
You want to go ahead and say a few words to begin the conference call, Julian?
Oh, hey, how you doing, you guys? Thanks for having me.
Greatly appreciated, Julian.
About training, can you give an opening statement about how training's going, Julian?
Oh, training's been going really good. You know, I had a really good training camp. You know, I know a lot of fighters always say they had the best training they ever had, but this has really been the best training camp of my life, and I did some different things, and I added some different pieces onto my team, and we're prepared for a really good fight. But more importantly, we're prepared to win on May 11th.
Thank you very much, Julian. Now we'll meet the man that will be standing across the ring from Julian Williams on Saturday, May 11th. He's undefeated, 23 bouts, 23 victories, 16 of those coming by way of knockout. He's the IBF and WBA 154-pound world champion, having trained by Ernesto Rodriguez, won his first world title by halting Tony Harrison over 2 years ago down in Alabama in February 2017. He actually unified the titles after defeating the very tough and crafty, the former world champion Erislandy Lara. In that fight, Jarrett HURD had to drop Lara in the final round to get the decision victory, recognized as the 2018 Fight of the Year by the BWAA, ESPN Sporting News, and countless others. This guy just comes forward, throws punches and bunches. He is a phenomenal example of what it is to be a professional and a world champion. Representing Accokeek, Maryland, please welcome Swift Jarrett HURD.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me today.
Jarrett, can you tell us about how training camp has been going before we open up questions for the media?
Training camp is going well. This is first time I'll be holding my full training camp here in my hometown. Usually I'm used to traveling. This is the first time in a while, and I haven't fought at home since 2014. So man, I'm super excited. I can feel the the fan base and the DMV support me already before the fight comes, and man, I'm just getting ready, prepared, ready for the 11.
Terrific. Thank you so much. And now the operator, if you want to go ahead and open it up for question and answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. I'm waiting for callers to join the queue at this present time. Our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. How are you, everybody? I'd like to start with a couple of questions for you, Jarrett. Jarrett, first question for you is, I know when you fought the Lara fight afterwards, you had that surgery, then you came back and had the win on December 1st. I just wanted to get an update and see, is your shoulder 100%? Have you had any issues with that?
Oh, yeah, man, the shoulder's 100%. It was 100% going into my last fight. We just wanted to test it out with Jason Wellborn. And, it's been like a year now or since the injury, so my shoulder's fully 100% now. You
mentioned Wellborn. I was going to also ask you, did you accomplish what you wanted to in that fight in terms of, testing the shoulder, getting back in the groove after the Lara fight? In other words, did that tune-up fight, so to speak, accomplish what you wanted it to accomplish?
Yeah, we just wanted to go out there and use the left hand a little, work behind the jab, and, see if it holds up well. And actually, it held up pretty well. So I definitely accomplished everything that we went out there wanted to do.
Now, you mentioned in your opening comments that you're excited about having this hometown fight. I think your hometown, Accokeek, is only maybe 25 minutes from Fairfax, where the fight's going to be held. And I know for a while earlier on you were talking about how when you first started out as a boxer, that your goal was to get on cards away from home and travel a little bit and get on cards out of town, not necessarily just stay in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. Now it's all about, I want to come home and defend my title. Can you talk to me about where the change came, where now it's important for you to have a fight in your hometown as opposed to traveling?
Well, the change came because, coming up, I was just only known in my area. So I wanted to fight in, other states and places to pick up a fan base, a bigger fan base, and, worldwide. And, after I defended my title a few times out of the area, I always wanted to, bring the belts back to my hometown and defend it there. So that's when I, wanted to all of a sudden come back home.
All right, now you're facing Julian Williams, and I'm very familiar with him, watched a lot of his fights. What is, in your opinion, the most dangerous thing that Julian brings to the ring against you?
The most dangerous, I would say, is I don't know. I'll say maybe his inside game. He has a great inside game. People will maybe underestimate it a little bit, but he does great things in the inside with his hand gesture and how he places his shots, sneaks them in there. He does a lot of good work in the inside. He also works good on the outside, but his inside work is great also.
All right, very good. Thank you for that, Jarrett. And Julian, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. Hey, Julian.
Okay, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'd like to know from you, first of all, what are your thoughts about coming to fight him in his hometown, where he's very excited to have this title defense?
I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's I just think it's a great opportunity. I didn't really, factor in, how difficult it would be, to fight him in his hometown. I just need an arena and, and some gloves, man. Just ring the bell. You know what I mean? I don't really, I didn't really think too deep into having to fight him in his hometown.
Okay, fair enough. And let me ask you this then. This is going to be your second opportunity to win the title, like Tom mentioned in the opening remarks. You've won 4 fights in a row since your first championship fight against Charlo. Do you feel that fight in some way prepared you for the second opportunity? And how much does it mean to you to have achieved the fact that you're now getting a second opportunity?
Well, I think all the fights in general prepared me for this opportunity. You know what I mean? The top fight, the 21 fights I had before that, I think everything that I went through within my professional career prepared me for this moment. And I'm sorry, what was the next question?
Oh, just did you think that you would get to the point where you would in fact get another opportunity to fight for a world title after that loss to Charlo 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I knew for 100% fact I would get another shot. I believe I'm definitely at least top 10 junior middleweight in the world. I just know I just have to get back in there and just keep fighting and get back up on the horse, man. Before that, you just can't stay down too long. You know what I mean? So I just got back in there and got a couple of wins. I knew a title shot would be coming.
All right, so let me ask you then one more question for you. If you're able to come to his hometown and win the fight and win the title, what would that mean for you in your mind, and how would that, do you believe, change your life?
It definitely would change. It would change my life as far as accomplishing goals. You know what I mean? Definitely more financial stability. It would definitely change my life, and it would mean a lot. It's going to mean a lot.
All right, very good. All right, fellas, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys on the 11th.
Yeah.
No problem.
Our next question is going to come from Steve Mullenhausen from Sporting News. Please go ahead.
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking time out today. And a question for Jarrett. And Jarrett, just, a lot has changed since you haven't fought, and I was just reading this a little bit ago, you haven't fought near your hometown since November of 2014. So when you were proposed to fight in your area, what was your reaction, and what does it mean to you?
It was my homecoming, man. It was everything. To win the world titles is great. It was always a goal of mine to become world champion, but I accomplished that, 2-time world champion. And I just wanted to defend them in my hometown. So to be able to, get this opportunity to bring it back here. First coming up as champion was hard to find a venue. We just got the MGM National Harbor, and it doesn't hold many people in there, maybe 2,500 to 33,000, and it was hard to find a venue. So now we're able to get things done with Fairfax, the EagleBank Arena in Fairfax, and VA is not actually in DC or Maryland, but Virginia is good enough. So. I'm just happy that people that couldn't make it out to the fight that was in other states can be able to make it to this.
You look at this division and everyone, even though Charlo lost to Harrison, people are still talking about you and Charlo as the 2 top dogs at 154. Assuming you do get by Julian, Julian's a tough fight, and Charlo and Harrison are going to be meeting coming up the following month. Is the goal in your mind to still unify the titles by the end of the year, regardless of who it is? Is that the case, or you just want to take it fight by fight and see what happens?
Well, we're not looking past Julian Williams. All that can be stopped in the next weekend. If I don't get past him, but it was a monkey versus stone into the whole Hurd Charlo thing when he did take a loss. So, a fight with me and him, I don't even think about it no more because he still got to get past Tony Harrison this second time. And I'm not more focused on fighting him. I'm more focused on getting WBC. So if he does win, I'll be looking forward to a fight with him. If Harrison wins, I'll be looking forward to a Harrison too.
What are your goals left to do in this weight class? Do you want to become the undisputed champion? Do you just want the WBC and then move on? What are the goals for you at 154 pounds?
Oh, I definitely want to be undisputed. It all depends because I'm such a big junior middleweight. It's every fight, man, it's getting more and more difficult to make the weight. And even though I come in underweight, my last fight was 152 when I fought against Wilborn. It's just that I'm putting on more weight in between fights, and even though I'm making it, to me, I don't think it's healthy to be dropping that amount of weight for a fight. Even though I fight through it, I still feel strong. And I think there's more opportunity at 160 for me, too. Also, I think the junior middleweight division is pretty much has fought everyone. And there's a lot of people at 160, the bigger fights there for me. So, it all depends. I want to sit around for the WBO when I win the WBC. But if it don't present an opportunity for me, I'll move up and I won't become undisputed.
And one more question, just based off of what you just said there. So in that timeline from what you just said, then would it be fair to say within the next 12 months we'll see Jarrett HURD at 160 pounds?
Around this time next year, that's hard to say.
Yes, sir.
It all depends. That's hard to say. I want to say no because I'd rather stick around for the WBO and the WBC. So I want to say no, but if it looks like it's not going to present itself any type of way out, then maybe so.
All right, thank you, Jarrett, and the best of luck next week.
No problem.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question is going to come from John Cutney from the Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead.
Oh, hi. This is a question for Jarrett to start with. So as a follow-up to the last question, you said you're looking potentially to fight the WBO champion at some point. There have been a lot of big fights at welterweight this year so far. There are a few more scheduled or likely to happen. Have you had your eyes on that division? Are you hoping to get any of those guys when they come up?
No, I don't think about that, man. I got a fight coming up May 11th. I haven't thought about the welterweight, and I really even haven't even thought about 160. I just focus on 154 fights that I got in front of me.
Okay. So next question, with the accomplishments you've had over the next few years, being a unified champion now, do you think you deserve consideration on pound-for-pound lists, and do you think you're being overlooked?
I do. One thing I wouldn't, everyone on the pound-for-pound list, it's opinionated, it's everyone's opinion, so, everyone has their opinion on who fighter they think is top 10 or what their top 5, whatever. But I can't really have a say on that. But one thing for sure, I do feel like I'm overlooked. I am a champion with 2 titles, and I think that my resume of fighters I've beaten isn't it's better than some of the guys that's on the pound for pound. That's in my opinion that they put up there, and but like I said, it's all opinionated. And to me, I know for sure I know I'll be up there in top 5, no question, soon in the future.
Okay, thanks a lot. One final question. So, your last few fights have been very exciting for fans. They've been, wars where it's been rough early, but then you've taken over later, or at least hurt your opponents later. Is it a goal in camp to try to make your fights in general more one-sided from the start of the fight onward? I know that might sound like an obvious question, but as you approach this fight specifically, is that an aim to make it one-sided all the way through, or, are you happy to make it a war because you think that'll work in your favor?
Nah, man, I want to make it one-sided all the way through. I don't want the fight to be close. I don't want it to be a war. I want it to be all me when I get there. So, you know, it's definitely not a game plan to go into fights and make them, you know, action-packed and toe-to-toe like that. I want the fight to be all one-sided, you know, but I have a different game plan for each fight. And, you know, it just so happens to be that the guys I fought in the past, that was the style that needed to be used, pressure, but, you know, toe-to-toe action. So we'll see, though. We'll see when I get in there. Things may change when I get in there, so you never know what type of style I'll bring out.
Okay, thanks a lot. Question for Julian now. So you had a very, you know, impressive title performance against Jermall Charlo. You landed a lot of punches in that fight, but you came up short ultimately. Just wondering if you can speak to how that you've grown from that experience, specifically how you've grown as a fighter, and if it's changed the way mentally how you approach fights.
Well, that certainly didn't change the way mentally how I approach fights, but I think I definitely grew from that fight. You know, I think every experience is a learning experience, you know. I think I got championship level experience, and I think that's invaluable. You know what I mean? I got a chance to go back to the drawing board and work on a bunch of things and add things in and take things out, and I think it's shown over the last course of 2 or 3 years and the last 4 fights that I had. So I think I took it all in stride, and I'm ready to put it all back together.
Okay, final question here. So Jarrett has a bunch of good wins in his last number of fights. He's really racking up a good resume, but he's shown vulnerability in those fights. Just wondering if you can speak to your level of confidence in going into this fight that you're going to be the one to finally take his titles. Speak of your confidence.
Well, my confidence doesn't come from his vulnerability. My confidence comes from my own ability and what I know I can do in a boxing ring. And I mean, his vulnerability, you know, he's been able to overcome everything he's been faced with. So his vulnerability is the reason why he's such an action-packed fighter. And but I don't get confidence from that. I get confidence from my own ability.
Okay, thanks a lot. Great answer, and really, really appreciate the time today. I know you guys have a lot going on in camp, so thanks again.
No problem.
No problem.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And our next question is coming from Carlos Toro. Please go ahead.
Hi, Jarrett, and hi, Julian. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. My first question for Jarrett, I know you said for your last fight against Jason Welborn, you set out what you accomplished to do and test out the shoulder. In terms of confidence levels, how much did that fight kind of, you know, get you in a mindset where you feel confident to take on the Julian Williamses of the world, where you're not going to have any doubt about having any, you know, side effects or any potential issue with the shoulder, and kind of overall, what's your confidence level heading into this fight?
My confidence level was on, you know, skyrocket, man. You know, and like I said, the Welborn fight was, you know, fight with Welborn only was brought up because of the surgery. You know, I didn't plan on going to a fight of that caliber, and I just wanted to get in the groove of fighting right-handed fighters because I was coming off 2 fights with southpaws, and I just wanted to have a right-handed fighter before I go into a unification. But since I had to get surgery on the shoulder, that's when the fight with Welborn came up. You know, something just to opponent in front of me that I can kind of, you know, work on things with. And, you know, I just want to get in the groove right-hand fighter because I know that in the unifications coming up, that's what both champions were right-handed. So it was more of me just trying to get back in the groove of right-handed fighters, and that's what, you know, the Julian Williams fight probably could have came sooner. Who knows if I didn't get the surgery. But I just want to get back in the groove of right-handed fighters.
You know, I know you've been wanting to get a 3-belt unification with Jermall Charlo for the WBC title on the line, and obviously he's now focused on the Tony Harrison rematch. How much did kind of watching Tony Harrison pull off what a lot of people would consider a big upset kind of made you want to refocus, or at least it gave you a reminder that as the champion, you're kind of now expecting everyone's best, and come fight night, anything can happen?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, you know, at first when it first happened, that I was at the fight, I was kind of upset, and I was only upset because, you know, this whole big thing with Hurd Charlo. I didn't think it was gonna live up to the hype it was. You know, that was the matchup at 154 at the time, and when Harrison won, I was kind of upset because, you know, I didn't think I was gonna have the big Hurd Charlo matchup. But then, you know, as a few days went past, I kind of thought about it. I was like, man, why do I care? Because my legacy don't end there with Charlo. Charlo doesn't define my career. You know, I got bigger fights at 160 that can always be made in. And you know, then I just kind of came back to reality. Like, even if that fight never happens, who cares?
Well, one question for Julian Williams. You know, I know you've spoken about how every fight has kind of prepared you for this fight against Jarrett HURD. Can you talk about a little more, like, what's different about the Julian Williams of May 2019 compared to when you fought Jermall Charlo in 2016? Is there maybe perhaps, you know, are you hungrier now than you were back then, or is there maybe just simply you having more experience after getting that opportunity to fight for a title?
I would definitely say I'm not gonna say I'm any more or less hungry. I've always been a hungry fighter. I think I just more experience. You know, I mean, experience is invaluable. So I definitely more experience.
Thanks, Jarrett, and thanks, Julian. Best of luck come fight night.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Jake Donovan from the boxing scene. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. My first question is for J-Rock. J-Rock, do you feel like you kind of become the forgotten contender just because of your one loss at the championship level? I mean, once upon a time, like, you were kind of the division's boogeyman, and now it just seems like I don't know. I don't feel like people view you as, you know, the legit top 10 contender that you are, that you've always been.
I don't know if I'm kind of like forgotten. I think, in a sense of a way, like some of these sports writers or experts or whatever you want to call them wanted me, I guess, like, one of my career to be like done because I took a loss, or want me to have like fall into like a deep depression, you know what I mean, because I lost the fight, and I wasn't gonna let that happen, you know, just because I just know like how boxing works, you know what I mean. Losses happen, knockouts happen, you know what I mean. Just because you take a L, that doesn't mean you can't come back and be a great fighter. You know what I mean? So I think I don't know if I got forgotten. You know what I mean? I don't know how underrated I am. You know, I don't see too many guys coming to pick on me, and you know what I mean, or like wanna I didn't get gifted no title shots. You know what I mean? Nobody's beating down my door like, you know, just I want to have a showcase. So I had to fight to a number one position to get this shot. You know what I mean? So I think maybe a little bit underrated, yes. Have I been forgotten? I'm not gonna say forgotten. I'm just say that boxing got a way of like pushing people out that takes a loss, and like just right next, they're done. Your loss is always done, and boxing is not about undefeated records. I think a career should be judged as a whole when it's done, when the career is finished, and I think I get micromanaged off just one fight.
That's a fantastic answer. How much of that has, I mean, I know you don't lack for motivation, but how much of that has like further motivated you going into this fight, especially seeing like, Swift has been featured prominently on Fox, like, on these PBC shows. Like, does any of that, like, kind of add to motivation of wanting to take that?
I'm motivated by the glory, the titles, and the money. People's opinions, you know what I mean? Everybody has an opinion, you know, so I don't really care or really dig too far into, you know, people's views on the fight or even Jarrett HURD or me. I don't, you know what I mean? I can't get into that, because if you do, I'll be on social media to 3 a.m. every night if I cared about everybody's opinion. You know what I mean? So I gotta kind of like take those things in stride. And after I win the fight on May 11th, and then everybody's gonna run back and say, oh well, this, that, and the third, and oh he's a great fighter. I'm like, no, just stay over there. I'm fine. Just want to cash my check and see my kids. That's it.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks, Jarrett. I appreciate it. Swift, I got a couple questions for you. One, I wanted to ask just, it seems like, I love the way, you always lean into, like, the things that other people kind of pick on, how, you still live at home and, you're a family man and all that. How did you feel like that was all showcased, especially on last week's Inside PBC Boxing Show?
Great, man. Look, I ain't ashamed that I'm at home. I can go out and tell the world I love being at home. I mean, they've been working for me. Like I said, I'm barely at home, so I'm not paying mortgage on a house that I'm not in, and it's to save money. I was told that the first money that I touched is my money. It's money to invest, so I'm out here making investments to make sure when I do finally make that move to move out, that I'll be secured. So it's nothing that I'm saying. I love being at home, but I didn't plan on staying this long. But like I said, it's working for me.
All right, very cool. And then just given all that, like all the love you've been showing on Fox and all that, do you feel like this was the right time for you to come home? That like it was just not meant for you to come home, before all this blew up for PBC?
I'm sorry, can you say again?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you feel like, I know you've always wanted to defend the title at home. Do you feel like, just seeing like the way you've been showcased on Fox and all that, like now is the perfect time to come home?
Oh yeah, definitely perfect time to come home. Man, not only, am I bringing the fight home, I'm getting so much love from my city alone. It's, ambassador for the Redskins. A lot of the sports teams are picking me up and, sponsor things like that. I'm finally getting the recognition that I work hard for. But it could be on a better platform in Fox Primetime TV, to showcase my fight here at home. So, this is perfect timing. Perfect time for me.
Very cool. Thank you so much, both of you, and I'm really looking forward to this fight next week.
No problem.
And our last question for today is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from The Sweet Science. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Jared, two questions. Obviously, there were some great fights in 2018, but the award from the BWA is the Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier Fight of the Year award, and you got the same award from a couple other media outlets too. What does it mean to you to get the award for your great fight with Lara? For an award named for Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
Listen, it's crazy. I was just talking about this the other day. I said, man, for me to be in a fight of the year with Erislandy Lara, a fighter that everyone, looks at fights and kind of say it's kind of boring because it be so one-sided and things like that. For me to get in a fight of the year with someone like him, I said, man, I must be inside a fighter. Everyone, that's what everyone says. Every fight that they tune in, they say it's always action-packed. And like Julian said, maybe because of my vulnerability, maybe because they like to see fighters get hit and dish it back out. But I mean, man, I'm super happy. That's a great accomplishment for me to receive such a award. And I mean, like I said, man, I mean, I can't. This is the way I do, man. I just go out there and leave it all in the ring and please the fan each and every time.
Hey, well, one last thing. And obviously, you talked a lot about this upcoming fight and what might happen in the future and what has happened in the past. That's all great boxing stuff. And this might seem like a silly question, but you have a distinctive hairstyle, and so does a certain recently acquired wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, does anybody come up and say, hey, look, it's Odell Beckham? I mean, has anybody ever said that to you? And how do you feel about the fact that at least a few people kind of have noted that?
Oh yeah, man, I get that all the time. It's funny. Almost everywhere I go, they always say you look like that wide receiver. You look like that wide receiver, and because of my hair. And it's funny because I was hearing that a while back when I didn't see no Odell Beckham or no things like that. And I saw him finally at Gervonta Davis's fight versus Ruiz. in this last fight. And when he walked past, he said, "What's up, twin?" And it shocked me because I didn't think, he heard of me or no things like that. And for him to acknowledge me and say that, yeah, man, at this fight, everybody kept on thinking I was you, Swift Jarrett HURD, because he was at the fights too. And it was kind of funny, man. But now we're pretty cool, and that's my guy now.
Hey, one big difference between football and boxing is that, in boxing, it's a lot better to be the giver than the receiver.
Right. I told him too, man. I said, man, look, over there, you got to teach me some of that footwork too, man.
Hey, look, man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, definitely.
And that was the last question for today.
All right, thank you guys very much. Before we get ready to say goodbye to everybody, I want to turn it over one more time to the challenger who is looking to become the world champion next Saturday, May 11th, PBC on Fox Deportes, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Julian Williams, do you have any final comments to close out the conference call?
I don't have nothing to say.
Well, thank you very much. He will do all his talking inside the ring May 11th, and we'll turn it over once again to the champion, Swift Jarrett HURD, undefeated, 23-0, 16 knockouts. Jarrett, if you have any final statements as you prepare for your showdown against Julian Williams next Saturday.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, to my hometown, DMV, I know you guys are going to be in the house. I appreciate all y'all support for, always supporting me. And this is going to be a great event. J-Rock, I know he's going to be ready. It's probably going to be another classic one for the books. I just can't wait to go out there May 11th and put on the show for everybody.
Thank you very much, Jared. That concludes the conference call. Thank you so much to the media. Don't forget, PBC on Fox Deportes, Jarrett HURD, Julian Williams, the 154-pound world championship on the line. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week during Fight Week.
Thank you, everybody.
No problem.
You may all disconnect. Thank you.